Nobody was giving me this pressure except myself. This was the worst experience of my life. You were not there for me. The whole world was in shambles. Hi everyone. I wanted to sit down and kind of just talk about what I've been going through, how I'm doing, a life update. I know this is like the strangest way to process emotions out, but whenever I make a video, it actually helps clear my mind a lot. I'm hoping that maybe this can help some other moms out there or some people who are experiencing similar things that I am during this time. I want to talk about postpartum and how I've been doing. So let's get into it. I am currently 3 months postpartum. Luke is going to be 100 days like next week, which is crazy. I cannot believe 3 months have gone by. It has been the longest 3 months of my life. I feel like so many things have happened. I think what I went through with my labor and delivery was like physically hard, but now what I experienced and have gone through, it was very mentally and emotionally so challenging. I feel like sometimes we skip over this stage where we're just like, okay, you had your baby and then you just hit the ground running and you're going. But we don't often take a second to realize like, how are we doing emotionally? Like, how are we doing as you're like recovering from all of this? Postpartum emotions are so real, and I know that it hits people differently. Like some women get really severe depression or some people get really severe anxiety. I do feel like I had kind of like a mixture and I just didn't realize it for a while. I think I'm still going through it. It's definitely not as intense as it was during the second month. I feel like every day I was constantly on the go during the daytime. So I had so many things I had to do. Like I had to take care of the baby, I have to do laundry, I have to do dishes. It would just constantly repeat. And by the time it became nighttime, I was so exhausted. But that was the only time where I could actually kind of think to myself. Instead of processing what was going on, I actually resorted a lot to social media. So I remember I would just like doom scroll. I would be on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and I feel like I used it as a way to distract myself. All these emotions, I feel like I was just like pushing down and trying to avoid through the means of looking at social media. Using social media as like a crutch for the emotions that I was actually going through. Around like 2 weeks ago, I actually stopped using social media for a while. I was like, you know what, I'm going to delete all my social media apps because I feel like it's not mentally helping me. Deleting all social media was actually a really good breath of fresh air for me. I still do check it like time and time, but I'm trying not to let it consume me and consume my days because I feel like that also added to the emotional toll that I was going through. So I felt like my whole world was in shambles. In my brain, I was like, I do not know how to handle all of this. If I can describe it in like pockets, I had like one pocket where I felt extreme burden. Let's say if I lost my job, I didn't have I mean, obviously I have pressure to find another job, but I feel like now with a child, I'm like, oh my gosh, this kid's life is dependent on me and I can't mess this up. And it wasn't just him that I felt responsibility for. I started feeling responsibility for everything and everyone in my life. Like I started feeling bad for the fact that I couldn't take care of my dog as much because I'm so busy with the baby and I can't really focus on him. I started feeling bad towards my parents that I'm asking them for help because I really needed it. I started feeling bad for Jay because I couldn't do anything because of my C-section. Nobody was giving me this pressure except myself. And I was kind of telling myself, like, you are responsible for all of these people's lives. You are responsible for all these things now. So you better take it seriously. I think that broke me a lot because it made me stay up at night and it made me have a lot of anxiety. So going into like postpartum anxiety, I had some crazy thoughts after I gave birth. Like I would have vivid images of like walking down the stairs and just thinking like, what if I drop my baby and it's all my fault? And then I started having images, like really dark images of like, what if something happens to Jay? Like, what if something happens to my parents? What if something happens to baby? And like, I was like, what the heck? Where are these images coming from? It was so bad, like to the point where even after we put the baby to sleep, I couldn't go to sleep. Even though I was physically exhausted, my mind was constantly like thinking of all these random things, all these random scenarios, like everything that could go wrong. And then I think that's where I started having postpartum depression. It kind of just like trickled into one another. I started thinking, as I move up a life stage, my parents move up a life stage. And because I was in the hospital and I think I saw people that were sick and I've experienced like how important your health is, I started thinking, what's the point of life? Like, if everyone's just gonna get sick as they get older, what's the point of living? Like, what's the joy in life? For those of you guys who watched When Life Gives You Tangerines, I freaking hated that drama. Okay, let me take that back. I liked the drama, but I think it wasn't the right time for me to watch that drama because it was too real and it was too reflective of what I was going through in my life that I was like, oh my gosh, this is not helping at all. Short summary, it's basically about a girl's life and you kind of just follow her through the different chapters of her life. So starting off when she was a kid to when she's a teenager to when she gets married, has kids, becomes a grandparent, and then eventually like her life comes to an end. So you follow the trajectory of her life. And I remember I got to the end and I was like bawling my eyes out and I could not stop thinking about that drama and I cannot stop thinking about the purpose of life and just like life in general. My brain became, what's the point of saying hello to someone when there's always going to be a goodbye? And so it was a very morbid way of thinking of life. Like, I think I woke up every morning and I was like, what's the point? Life is so sad. And it was so hard for me to tell myself that there are joys in life because I kept focusing on all the negatives and all the sadness that comes with life. It was a constant stream of just like negativity in my head. It got to the point where I was getting really tired. Like every night I was so exhausted and I was tired of thinking these thoughts. It got to the point where I'm like, there's no good in thinking about any of this. Like, what benefit does this have that I'm so anxious about things that has not happened and that I'm thinking about imagery that is not beneficial to my life and is not life-giving to me? I really had to talk about it with like my pastor and like his wife, which helped a lot. And I think just spiritually, like, it was the lowest I've ever felt in my personal like walk with God. And yeah, spiritually, I was just so angry at God. I think I was like, why did I have to go through this? Like, this was the worst experience of my life. You were not there for me. I never felt so shaken up in my faith until I got pregnant and until I gave birth. So where am I currently? I think I'm doing a lot better. I'm glad that I had people that I could share this with. I'm glad that I was able to talk about it with my friends and just people that were willing to listen. And I think that really helped me a lot. It's definitely been a journey to get here. It took me like 2 months to get here, to get to a point where I can like sit and actually talk about it. I know that all moms go through this. And not only that, like I went through a huge identity crisis. And I think that's something I'm still going through and I'm still processing. I went through a huge identity crisis. I was like, who am I? Am I even a designer? What do I like to do? Like, what do I enjoy in life? Like, what makes me different? What makes me stand out? I have no idea who I am. I feel like I became a brand new person and I'm like, look at myself in the mirror and I'm like, I don't know who I am anymore. And I'm trying to rediscover that. Not only that, I think physically I had to really be a little bit kinder to myself. I think I looked at myself and would just be like, oh my gosh, you look so old. You have so many more wrinkles, like dark circles. Physically, I was just so hard on myself. All of these things, it was such a struggle to even get to this point. The reason I am making this video is because I know that there are moms out there that struggle with this and that are maybe going through it alone, that maybe don't talk about it with their friends or they don't know how to process it. And I don't have much advice for you. I think everyone is just really different on how they process emotions and how they process situations. For me, time really helped. Sharing with other people really helped. And just reminding myself, like, this is not the end. There's so much more in store for you. And even with like spiritually, with the fact that I was in such a lull, and I think I still am trying to get out of that right now, just reminding myself, like, at the end of the day, God is still a good God and He's not against you. Like, He is with you and He's been with you. Instead of looking at all the bad things in life, like, you should also take a look at all the blessings and the good things that have come with it. And I think just that phrase of you can either look at life with the glass half empty or half full became so much more real to me. It is true, like the way that you want to view life and the perspective that you have and how you want to be as a person is fully and solely dependent on you. I think I came to that realization of like, okay, if you want to keep thinking of all the negatives and if you want to keep being anxious about everything, you can, and you can stay in that place. But again, it's not going to add any benefit to your life. It's not going to add a minute of time to your life. It's not doing you any favors. So that decision is yours. And I think I really had to kind of snap myself out of it. That kind of helped me a lot and remind myself like, Grace, there's so much more that you're going to be doing in life. Like there's so much more ahead of you. I think I started telling myself and talking to myself in a way that I would want to talk to somebody else in. You are just at the beginning, and so don't think that this is it. I think I just realized I need to be nicer to myself. I need to be kinder to myself. It's going to get better, and you have to keep believing that, and you have to keep pushing forward and telling yourself that. Even if on days when you just really don't feel like it, I think it has helped me tremendously to kind of rewire my brain and tell myself like, it's gonna be fine. Even if your emotions aren't there yet, it's okay. Like, just keep telling yourself it's gonna be okay. I hope this was somewhat helpful or somewhat informative. It was really fun to just like sit and to chat and to process things. So that is it for today, but I will see you guys in the next one.